This has been a major problem for the Lakers as they played a really close game with the number one team in the West, Oklahoma City Thunder, but came up short due to their own shortcomings, some unforced errors by some of their best players, which led to another loss. And now that is four in their last 5 games with an important road trip coming up for this team. What's good? I'm Okechi Apakama, and this is Lakers Digest coming at you with another video. And before we get into that game recap we have for you guys, I just want to remind you to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already to get those Laker updates. Now, let's hop straight into that game recap, guys, because unfortunately, the Lakers lose to the Thunder in the last NBA Cup game. So if you're keeping score there, the Lakers are now 2-2 in the NBA Cup, and virtually it is unlikely for them to advance on to Vegas and go on to the next rounds. So now we'll wait until Tuesday to see the rest of the Lakers schedule. But the Lakers unfortunately lose this game against the Thunder. While it was a very close game, they did in by some of their own shortcomings. There was a lot of turnovers, a lot of possessions given up to a team like the Oklahoma City Thunder, which they're a young team, but they really do capitalize on those turnovers. So we're just gonna dive straight into those stats. They do tell part of the story there for the Lakers as Dalton Connect really led the way for the Lakers with 20 points once again in that starting lineup. Had 6 3-pointers off of 6 of 13 shooting. He also had 6 rebounds and 4 assists. And then Austin Reaves had a very nasty fall in the second quarter, only had 11 points in that one to go along with 5 turnovers. He was also 1 of 9 from 3. LeBron James had a very rough game as well with only 12 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, and had 5 turnovers. He also did not make a 3-pointer. And then Rui Hachimura had a couple of nice shots, but that was about it as he only finished with 8 points. And then Anthony Davis, who has been averaging over 30 points a game, only had 15 in that one, only took 9 shots. He did have 12 rebounds, 7 assists, and a very good defensive game with 4 blocks and 1 steal. But he did not have enough of an offensive burst to help the Lakers. And then off the bench there, they had some nice contributions from D'Angelo Russell, who had 17 points off the bench and had 4 threes. And then Max Christie had a very good run up until that last moment there where he fouled Shai Gilgeous-Alexander unexpectedly, which led to 2 free throws. So, albeit by that one mistake, Max Christie had a very solid game once again, but the Lakers unfortunately weren't able to get the win as they lose that one 101 to 93. And the Lakers, it was the turnovers that really was the issue for them in this game, as that really told the story for the Lakers, as they had 17 turnovers. 12 of them were steals by the Oklahoma City Thunder because they've got a very good defensive team and they have very good defensive principles over there. But that led to 20 points off of turnovers for against the Lakers, while the Lakers only got 5 points off of 10 Oklahoma City Thunder turnovers. And so that was really where the game was swung there for the Los Angeles Lakers. And it is very unfortunate for this Lakers squad, who has now lost these past couple of games in different fashions. Where it was just a couple of late missed free throws, and the other 2 were just blowouts in the third quarter. And now you have this one where they played Oklahoma City pretty tight in this one. They did a very good job on some of the other guys, albeit Shai had a very nice game because he is an MVP caliber player and he's going to do that to you. But they did a pretty solid job for some of the other guys not to get too hot there, as Jalen Williams had 19 points, but it was off of 19 shots. Isaiah Hartenstein was a monster down there, had 11 points, 18 rebounds, 15 of them were defensive. And then Shai, he was tremendous because he's an MVP caliber player, 36 points, 9 assists, 6 rebounds. And then Lou Dort had a pretty solid game with 14 points, 4 threes. He did have 5 fouls, almost fouled out in that game there, but the Lakers, they were playing Oklahoma City pretty tough defensively. This is probably one of their better defensive games I've seen from them for the whole entire year. I want to say since almost that first couple of games against Minnesota and Phoenix. But the Lakers, they had their defense was pretty solid, but just that offense and just some of those careless turnovers, especially by guys like LeBron James and Austin Reaves. While Austin Reaves, I believe, had a bit of excuse there with that hard fall in that second quarter. If you guys haven't seen that video, if you're squeamish, don't watch that. If that was my advice, because he really fell hard on his back there after going to the lane for a layup, and then he got fouled by Isaiah Hartenstein and then hit directly on his back. And while he did knock down the free throws to stay in the game, he did have to come out towards the end of that first half there, and then he went to the locker room up until the 6 minute mark of the third quarter. That's when he came back out, and he just didn't really have his rhythm there. He was taking a lot of ill-advised three-point shots, and they weren't going down for him. And these are some of the shots that Austin makes, but he wasn't really in a rhythm, and that really broke the Lakers' rhythm on offense. And then another guy, LeBron James, who, albeit he did have a triple double in that last game, has had a bit of a turnover issue these past couple of games here. And albeit this happens every now and again with LeBron James, and while he has a few bad games, try not to worry too much. But now this has kind of been an issue for the Lakers, and if they are going to win games against some of these higher level teams, they cannot be afford to be making these mistakes that they have been making on the offensive side of the ball. And then this is LeBron James in his past couple of games. Look at that third column to the right there, as he had 5 turnovers in this one, 5 turnovers in the last game, 5 in the previous game, 6 in the other one, and then 4 in the game before that. So LeBron James, his turnovers has been a bit of an issue. I do think out of all players, he is the one to be able to correct a thing like that, just because of his ability and his whole cerebralness, know-how of the game. Most of these feel like just more of mental mistakes than it is ability, because LeBron can make every single pass in the book. So he'll hopefully clean this up with the Los Angeles Lakers, because they have some big games coming up here, and they're going to need LeBron James at his best here. And then just up and down the rest of the roster there, Anthony Davis, unfortunately for him, he just wasn't able to get the shots that he was getting. That was partly because of what Oklahoma City was doing, whether it was coming to double at the correct time, or forcing AD when he catches the ball in the post to catch it further than he usually catches it, and then the Lakers are then scrambling and finding it hard to get into their offense, or going into their offense very late in the shot clock. So that was more of the issue of this game. Their defense was pretty solid, and albeit the Lakers' defense has been pretty poor for most of this season, but it was solid against this team, and which gives a lot of Laker fans a lot of strife, just because you see the type of effort that they can bring in some of these games, and you wonder why isn't it always there for most of these games. And so the Laker fans will just have to deal with this. And now we kind of have to shift gears here, as the Lakers have an important road trip coming up. And from what we saw with these last couple of games with the Los Angeles Lakers, and them losing in just different ways, like I said, whether it was missed free throws toward the end of the game, or getting blown in the third quarter, or now with just these array of turnovers that is giving these other teams chances, the Lakers will now go out onto the road for a very telling road trip. And there are going to be some games where they're going to need to be on their P's and Q's, or they're going to get blown out on the road. And that is not a good look for a team that is trying to get somewhere in April, March, and June. So the Lakers have these games coming up. I believe their next one is against the Utah Jazz. But after that, they got a back-to-back then against the Minnesota Timberwolves. And then they play Atlanta and Miami, respectively. So those are 2 good teams that are pretty solid at their home, on their home floor. And then also same with Minnesota as well. Utah, not as much, but that could be a bit of a trap game. And if the Lakers are turning over the ball like they have been here these past couple of games, that can be an issue for a team like Utah, who has a bunch of younger guys who are trying to get up and down the floor, who are trying to score in the fast break, because they don't have the requisite skills to score there in that half court. So the Lakers are going to need to be, like I said, on their P's and Q's, especially on the offensive side of the ball, so they're not giving up these easy and free possessions on the fast break, because this is one of the worst transition defensive teams in the league. So the Lakers have to help themselves out and not turn over the basketball if they want to have a successful road trip upcoming here. and it's gonna come down from every guy on the roster. And while it is nice to have contributions from a guy like Dalton Connect, who is looking like an early Rookie of the Year candidate with him and Jared McCain, I feel like it's gonna be a two-horse race. Maybe Zach Edey can get his name up in there as well. But I feel like those guys are leading the charge for the Rookie of the Year race. And luckily for the Lakers, he is on their squad. He is hitting 20 points every now and again when he's starting. So getting this contribution from a rookie is massive and vital to this Laker team, who didn't make any moves in this offseason, as he is definitely looking like their biggest acquisition here. And hopefully continue this on the road as well, because it's easier to shoot at home for a rookie because the crowd is with you. But when when you're in a road arena, then it becomes a bit more difficult. And we'll see what type of resolve and tryout a guy like Dalton Connect has. And he's shown a lot of moxie, especially in this early parts of the season. So I don't worry about him too much there. But the Lakers, like I said, they have to get it together on the offensive end, take care of the basketball so they can help their defense out and not have to be sprinting back in bad situations with on transition defense. So they're able to possibly take some of these games and get back into their winning ways as they try to look towards that middle parts of the season there and get towards Christmas. But that's probably going to be it for this video, guys. Let us know what you think about the Lakers and their past few games here in the comments down below. And also, one more thing for us, guys. There is about 83% of you who have recently watched our videos who are not subscribed to the channel just yet. And if you guys want more of those Laker news, Laker updates, game recaps, just every and all things LA Lakers, you guys are going to come right here to Lakers Digest so you don't miss a beat. Now, I have been your host, Okechi Apakama, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.